When you wake up in the morning, what's the very first sign your body gives you about your health? For many men, it's something that often gets overlooked, ignored, or even laughed off: the morning erection. But here's the truth. That simple, automatic reaction your body has during the night or in the early morning is one of the most important health tests you can ever pay attention to, especially if you're over the age of 50. I want you to really let that sink in. We often spend thousands of dollars on doctor's visits, on pills, on tests and scans. But nature gave us a built-in indicator, a natural barometer of circulation, hormone balance, and overall vitality. And it happens right there before you even get out of bed. That's why I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you. Because if you understand the hidden meaning behind morning erections, you can catch problems early, take control of your health, and in many cases, even extend the quality years of your life. Now, before I go deeper into the science and what it means for your body, let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you noticed a strong, healthy morning erection? Was it this morning? Last week? Has it been months? Or maybe you can't even remember? I'd love for you to share your honest experience down in the comments below. Trust me, you're not alone. Millions of men over 50 silently wonder about this every single day. Here's why it matters. Morning erections, what doctors call nocturnal penile tumescence, are not just about sexual health. They are a natural sign of your cardiovascular system, your nervous system, and your hormone system all working together in harmony. Think of it as your body's nightly maintenance check. When your brain, blood vessels, and hormones are in sync, your body produces erections during the deeper phases of sleep, especially during REM sleep. This is as normal and necessary as your heart beating or your lungs taking in oxygen. And that's why the absence of morning erections or a noticeable decline in their frequency and strength can sometimes be an early warning sign, not just of sexual problems, but of bigger underlying health issues. Problems that, if ignored, can grow silently for years. We're talking about circulation problems, low testosterone, diabetes, stress overload, poor sleep quality, or even the early stages of heart disease. I don't say that to scare you. I say it to empower you. Because your body is giving you clues long before a serious condition sets in. If you listen to those clues, you can take action, make changes, and often reverse the trend. You don't need to feel embarrassed. You don't need to feel broken. And you don't need to accept decline as inevitable. Aging is real, but decline is not your destiny. Let me explain this in a way that makes sense. Imagine your blood vessels are like garden hoses. When they're flexible, open, and healthy, water flows easily. That's what happens in your body when your cardiovascular system is strong. Blood flows without resistance, oxygen reaches every cell, and you feel alive and energized. But over time, if plaque builds up in those hoses, if the walls get stiff, if circulation slows, what happens? The flow weakens. And one of the first places you'll notice it is in the most delicate blood vessels in the body, the ones responsible for erections. Morning erections, therefore, act almost like a warning light on the dashboard of your car. If you stop seeing them regularly, your body might be telling you, hey, something isn't right here. Pay attention before it becomes serious. And here's the hopeful part. When you take the signal seriously, you can often make changes that improve not only your erections, but your heart health, your energy, your mood, and even your lifespan. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I'm not sexually active anymore. Why does it matter? My answer to that is simple. It's not about whether or not you're having sex. It's about what this natural process reveals about your internal health. Morning erections are like a free diagnostic tool. If you had access to a test that could reveal problems with your circulation or hormone balance before they became serious, wouldn't you use it? Well, you already have it, and it shows up while you're asleep. So let's break it down further. What are the main reasons a man might lose his morning erections after 50? The first big reason is circulation. Erections depend on good blood flow. If your arteries are narrowed from high cholesterol, if your blood pressure is high, if you've been sedentary for years, the blood just doesn't move as well. And because the vessels in the penis are smaller than those in the heart or the brain, they're often the first place where problems show up. The second reason is hormones, specifically testosterone. Testosterone is the fuel for male vitality. It influences energy, muscle, motivation, and yes, sexual health. Testosterone levels naturally decline with age, but lifestyle, stress, lack of sleep, and poor nutrition can accelerate that decline. When testosterone drops too low, you'll often see changes in mood, energy, belly fat, and morning erections. The third big factor is sleep. Morning erections are closely tied to REM sleep cycles. If you're not sleeping deeply, if you're waking up constantly, if you have sleep apnea or stress keeping you up, you're disrupting those cycles. That means fewer chances for your body to create those erections naturally. And then there's the mental and emotional side. Chronic stress, anxiety, depression, and relationship issues can all contribute to changes in sexual function. Your brain and body are not separate. They're deeply connected. When stress hormones are high, blood vessels constrict, testosterone dips, and sleep suffers. The result? Morning erections fade. Now here's the encouraging news. You're not powerless. There are steps you can take starting today to improve your odds of waking up stronger, healthier, and more energized. And I don't just mean in the bedroom. I mean in every part of your life. Because when you improve the root causes, you improve everything. The first step is to monitor yourself. Pay attention over the course of weeks, not just days. If you're seeing healthy morning erections several times a week, that's usually a reassuring sign. If you're not, don't panic, but do take it seriously. Think of it as your cue to check in on your lifestyle and your health. The second step is to support your circulation. Get moving every single day. Even a brisk walk improves blood flow, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens your arteries. Add in strength training a couple of times a week to boost testosterone naturally. Exercise is not just about muscles. It's about keeping the pipes clear so blood can reach everywhere it needs to go. The third step is nutrition. What you eat every day either heals your body or slowly damages it. If you want strong circulation and balanced hormones, focus on foods that nourish your blood vessels and support testosterone. That means plenty of vegetables, colorful fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and avocados, and omega-3 rich foods like fish. Cut back on processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive alcohol, because those weaken your circulation, increase inflammation, and sap your energy. Another powerful step is sleep. If you want healthy morning erections, you have to give your body the opportunity to create them. That means aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted during the day no matter how long you've slept, get checked for sleep apnea. It's far more common in men over 50 than most people realize, and it robs you not only of erections, but of heart health, brain function, and longevity. Now let's talk about stress. Stress is a silent killer, and one of the ways it shows up is through declining morning erections. Your body doesn't know the difference between emotional stress and physical threat. It reacts the same way. It pumps out cortisol, it diverts blood flow away from your reproductive system, and it blunts your testosterone. That's why finding healthy ways to manage stress is not optional. It's essential. This could mean meditation, prayer, deep breathing, time in nature, journaling, or simply talking to a friend or counselor. The key is to consistently give your nervous system a chance to relax and reset. Hormonal balance is another area worth paying attention to. While lifestyle is the foundation, some men may benefit from having their testosterone checked by a doctor. If you notice changes in energy, mood, body composition, or erections, it may be worthwhile to have a blood test. And if your levels are low, there are safe, medically supervised ways to address it. I always encourage men to start with natural approaches first: diet, exercise, stress management, and sleep. But it's also important not to ignore professional guidance when necessary. Here's something I want you to keep in mind. The presence or absence of morning erections is not about your masculinity or your worth. It's simply feedback. Just like a check engine light in your car doesn't mean the car is useless. It means the car needs maintenance. You wouldn't ignore that light until the engine breaks down completely. So don't ignore this signal from your body either. Use it as an early alert system and take proactive steps. One of the most inspiring things I've seen in my years of working with men is how quickly the body responds when you take action. I've had men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s who thought their days of morning erections were gone for good. But once they began exercising regularly, losing some weight, eating real food, and prioritizing sleep, the change was remarkable. Within weeks or months, their morning erections returned, and along with them came more energy, sharper thinking, and renewed confidence. That's the beautiful thing about the human body. It wants to heal. It wants to thrive. It's always working in your favor. But you have to give it the right conditions. Morning erections are not just a measure of sexual health. They're a reflection of whether your body feels safe, nourished, and balanced enough to perform one of its most natural functions. Now let's look at a few practical things you can start doing today. The first is hydration. Blood is mostly water, and dehydration thickens it, making circulation harder. Aim to drink enough water throughout the day. The second is movement. If you spend long hours sitting, make it a habit to get up every hour, stretch, and move around. Sitting too much tightens muscles, reduces blood flow, and can even irritate the nerves that play a role in erections. Third, include foods that specifically support nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is the chemical your body uses to relax blood vessels and allow blood to flow into the penis. Beets, spinach, arugula, and citrus fruits are all excellent choices. Fourth, maintain a healthy weight. Extra belly fat lowers testosterone and raises estrogen, which creates a hormonal imbalance that directly impacts erections. Fifth, limit alcohol. While a small amount might help you relax, too much alcohol over time damages the liver, lowers testosterone, and reduces circulation. And sixth, don't smoke. Smoking damages blood vessels more than almost anything else, and it's one of the fastest ways to lose your morning erections permanently. I want you to think of these steps not as chores, but as acts of self-respect. Every time you choose a healthy meal, every time you go for a walk, every time you get to bed on time, you're investing in your future. You're telling your body, I care about you. I want you to keep working well for me. And your body responds. I also encourage you to be open and honest about this topic. Too many men suffer in silence because they feel embarrassed to talk about their sexual health. But silence helps no one. Sharing your experience in the comments below not only helps you realize you're not alone, it helps other men see that they're not alone either. Together, we can break the stigma and replace shame with empowerment. So let's circle back to the main point. Morning erections are not just a private matter. They are one of the most valuable, hidden health tests available to every man over 50. They tell you about your circulation, your hormones, your sleep quality, and your overall vitality. They are a nightly report card from your body. And if you learn how to read that report, you can catch problems early and take action before they become serious. I know some of you may already be feeling discouraged because your morning erections are not what they used to be, but I want you to hear me clearly. This is not the end. This is an invitation. It's your body calling you to make changes that will not only improve this one aspect of your health, but ripple out into every other area of your life. And think about this. Wouldn't you rather know the truth now, when you can still make a difference, rather than ignore it and face bigger problems down the line? Your heart, your brain, your muscles, and your future self will thank you for paying attention today. I've had men tell me that the return of their morning erections gave them back not only their physical vitality, but their sense of hope. They felt alive again. They felt motivated to take care of themselves, and in some cases, it even reignited intimacy and connection in their relationships. That's the power of this hidden health test. So how can you start taking real action today? I suggest beginning with a simple self-check routine. For the next 2 to 3 weeks, each morning when you wake up, just notice. Did you have a morning erection? Was it firm, partial, or absent? Write it down in a notebook or even in the Notes app on your phone. Don't judge it, just track it. This simple practice helps you build awareness and gives you a baseline. Once you know your baseline, you can start making changes and see how your body responds. For example, if you cut out late-night alcohol, start walking daily, and commit to going to bed an hour earlier, notice what happens over time. Many men are surprised to find that within just a few weeks of better sleep and better habits, their morning erections improve. That's not coincidence. That's your body healing itself and rewarding your efforts. Another area I want to talk about is medications. If you're over 50, there's a good chance you may be taking prescriptions for blood pressure, cholesterol, or other conditions. Some of these medications can affect erections, either by altering circulation, hormones, or nerve function. That doesn't mean you should stop taking them. Never do that without your doctor's guidance. But it does mean that if you notice changes, you should bring it up with your healthcare provider. Often there are alternatives or adjustments that can be made. Your doctor can only help you if you speak up. And here's something important. Sometimes men assume that because they don't wake up with morning erections, their body simply doesn't work anymore. But that's not always the case. It could be that you're waking up in the wrong phase of sleep. Morning erections are most common during REM sleep. If your alarm cuts you off before you finish that cycle, you might not notice one even though you had several during the night. Studies show that healthy men typically have 3 to 5 erections per night during sleep. So don't rely on one morning alone. Pay attention over time. Let's also talk about connection and intimacy. For many men, the topic of erections is tied deeply to identity, confidence, and relationships. If you've been feeling frustrated or embarrassed, you may have pulled away from your partner emotionally or physically. I want you to remember something vital. Your worth is not defined by your performance, but your health and vitality are worth protecting because they impact every relationship you have with yourself, your partner, and your loved ones. Taking action for your health is one of the most loving things you can do, not only for yourself, but for those who care about you. Now, let's zoom out. Why is this message so important for men over 50 in particular? Because this is the stage of life where the risks of heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and low testosterone rise significantly. And morning erections often decline around the same time. That means you can use this natural signal as an early detection system for those very conditions. If your erections are declining, it may be a warning sign to check your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your blood pressure, or your hormone levels. In other words, this one signal can lead you to uncover hidden issues before they become dangerous. But I don't want you to hear this as bad news. I want you to hear it as an incredible opportunity. Because if your body is warning you now, you still have time to act. You can start walking, lifting light weights, improving your diet, getting better sleep, managing your stress, and talking to your doctor. And every one of those actions not only improves your morning erections, but also strengthens your heart, protects your brain, balances your hormones, and keeps you younger for longer. Think about this. What if your body is simply waiting for you to pay attention? What if the signal is not a sign of failure, but a call to action? You have the power to answer that call. And when you do, the rewards go far beyond the bedroom. You'll notice more stamina, more focus, a better mood, and even stronger resilience against illness. I also want you to be realistic. Not every man will regain the same kind of morning erections he had at 20. That's not the point. The point is to understand what your body is telling you and to support it so you can be the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself at this stage of life. If you do that, you've already won. Now let's talk about small, actionable habits you can implement right away. Number 1, walk after dinner. This simple practice helps lower blood sugar, improve circulation, and support digestion. Number 2, do bodyweight exercises, push-ups, squats, planks. These movements increase testosterone, build muscle, and stimulate blood flow. Number 3, set a consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Your body thrives on rhythm, and consistent sleep supports your hormones more than you realize. Number 4, cut back on late-night screens. The blue light from phones and TVs disrupts melatonin, which affects sleep quality, which in turn affects erections. Number 5, practice relaxation before bed. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing or stretching can calm your nervous system and set you up for deeper sleep. Number 6, eat more magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, and pumpkin seeds. Magnesium relaxes blood vessels, reduces stress, and supports testosterone. These are not extreme steps. They're simple, doable, and profoundly effective. And when you combine them, the results add up. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine waking up with more energy, stronger erections, sharper focus, and the confidence that comes from knowing your body is working with you, not against you. That's possible if you start today. And let me be clear, this is not about perfection. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just pick 1 or 2 things you can commit to this week. Maybe it's walking every evening. Maybe it's going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's swapping soda for water. Each small step builds momentum, and momentum creates change. I've seen men completely transform their health just by starting small and staying consistent. The key is not to wait until it's too late. Don't wait for a diagnosis or a health crisis to force you into action. Use the gift of this natural health test, your morning erections, as your early warning system. Let it inspire you to take control now, when the future is still yours to shape. So I'll ask you again, when was the last time you noticed a strong morning erection? Share it in the comments below, not because I need to know, but because speaking it out loud helps you take ownership of your health. And when other men read your comment, they'll realize they're not alone, and that realization might be the first step to their own healing journey. I want you to picture something with me for a moment. Imagine you wake up 6 months from now, and the very first thing you notice is the return of something you thought you had lost. A strong, natural morning erection. That moment is not just about physical function, it's about proof. Proof that your body is healing, proof that your choices are paying off, proof that age is not the end of vitality. That single signal can flood you with motivation and hope. And the beautiful thing is, it's within reach. Your body is constantly renewing itself. Your blood vessels can become more flexible. Your heart can get stronger. Your hormones can rebalance. Your sleep can deepen. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you choose to give your body what it needs. And the signal that tells you it's working? Morning erections. Now, I don't want you to fall into the trap of comparison. Don't compare yourself to your 20-year-old self, and don't compare yourself to other men. This is about you, your body, and your health. The only question that matters is, are you paying attention, and are you willing to make changes? If the answer is yes, then you've already taken the most important step. Let me remind you again, morning erections are not just about sex. They're about circulation, hormones, sleep, stress, and overall health. They're about how well your body is keeping you alive and thriving. That's why I call them the hidden health test every man over 50 must know. Because if you pay attention, they can save your life. I've spoken to countless men who ignored this signal for years. They brushed it off as just aging. But when they finally went to the doctor, they discovered high blood pressure, diabetes, or early heart disease. If they had listened sooner, they could have taken action earlier. And I've also seen men who did listen, who used the loss of morning erections as motivation to change their diet, start exercising, manage stress, and improve their sleep. Those men not only regained erections, but dramatically improved their quality of life. Which story do you want to be yours? This is where the choice becomes clear. You can ignore the signal, hope it goes away, and risk bigger problems down the road, or you can see it as the gift it truly is, an early warning system, and take action now. And remember, action doesn't mean perfection, it means progress. It means deciding today that your health, your vitality, and your future are worth fighting for. And here's something powerful I've learned. When you start improving one area of health, everything else gets better too. The walk you take for your circulation also clears your mind and reduces stress. The strength training you do for testosterone also builds confidence and protects your joints. The healthy food you eat for your blood vessels also boosts your energy and sharpens your focus. The early bedtime you commit to for better sleep also restores your mood and gives you more patience with the people you love. It all connects. So when you wake up tomorrow, I want you to pause for just a moment before you get out of bed. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. If you notice a healthy morning erection, be grateful. It means your systems are working together as they should. And if you don't feel shame. Feel motivation. Let it be the signal that today is the day you start taking action. I know this isn't always an easy topic to talk about, but I believe the silence around men's health is one of the reasons so many men suffer in the shadows. That's why I encourage you again. Leave a comment below. Share your experience, your questions, or even just a word of encouragement for another man who might be struggling. Your openness could be the spark that helps someone else take control of their health. And if you're watching this right now and feeling that spark of motivation inside you, don't let it fade. Take one small step today. Go for that walk. Drink more water. Go to bed earlier. Schedule that doctor's appointment you've been putting off. Each small step builds into momentum, and momentum builds into transformation. You deserve to feel strong, energized, and alive at every age. You deserve to wake up in the morning with confidence, with vitality, and with the knowledge that you're taking care of yourself. Your future is not set in stone. It's shaped by the choices you make today. So the next time you wake up and ask yourself, what does this mean for my health? Remember this. Morning erections are your body's natural health test. They are a message from within, and it's up to you to listen. Pay attention, take action, and never forget. Your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right care, they can still be ahead. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to change, to heal, and to thrive. And I want you to believe in yourself too, because once you do, nothing can stop you from reclaiming your strength, your energy, and your life. So let's make a promise together right now. A promise that we won't ignore the signals our bodies give us. A promise that we'll take action, not later, but today. And a promise that we'll treat every morning, every signal, and every choice as an opportunity to grow stronger, healthier, and more alive. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment, share your story, and commit to taking one action today. Because your health is worth it. Your future is worth it. And you are worth it.